Losing everything suddenly and in such a catastrophic way can leave some folks in utter dismay, just struggling to sort through answers that still don't make sense. When the loss and destruction are compounded by physical injuries and physical therapy, that's even tougher. And that is exactly why I admire Trey and Malachi Cheney for being so candid. They didn't just weather the storm, they emerged even stronger. An invaluable lesson for all of us. I am truly inspired, and I hope you are too. Be sure to be the reason why someone smiles today.
Well, welcome in, you guys. I'm Ariel Onstad, and I want to start off with breaking news right now. We just got an alert into our newsroom. If you received an Amber Alert on your cell phones, we have more information about what that's all about. I'd like to bring you a couple of images that you can see right now. We know a 2-month-old baby has been kidnapped, Clayton County police say, by his father. Now, the police department in Clayton County issued this Amber Alert for 2-month-old Roman Williams. You can see him there on the right of your screen. They say the baby was abducted during a domestic incident. Investigators say that the father, Tariq Denzel Williams, assaulted the mother of the child and forcibly took control of her silver 2017 Volkswagen Passat bearing a Georgia tag. So if you got that Amber Alert on your cell phones, it does bear that tag. You can see it now on your screen, DCA 8894. And it is this silver 2017 Volkswagen Passat that investigators are searching for. They believe the child, this baby, could be in extreme danger. They say that this dispute between the father and the mother of the baby happened in the area of Fielder Road and Mount Zion Boulevard. And that happened just moments ago. And the investigators believe that's where the father, Tariq Denzel Williams, seen here on the left of your screen, 25 years old, assaulted the mother and forcibly took control of her car and the baby. They say he left her stranded and took off with the child. The vehicle was last tracked moving towards I-75, and investigators believe Williams is traveling southbound, possibly with the intention of going to Florida. They've issued warrants for his arrest, and those warrants are for kidnapping, false imprisonment, simple battery, and theft by taking a motor vehicle, theft by taking an interference with a 911 call, and cruelty to children. So you can see some video that our Tyler Finger was able to capture of a billboard that investigators already have up there along the interstate, and this is letting you know more about that baby. And if you see this Volkswagen Passat, again 2017, you are urged to call 911 immediately because they believe this child could be in danger. Tyler is on his way, and we'll be getting a live report for him when he is ready to go. But in the meantime, I want to make sure you guys are aware of this. If you see that this vehicle, call 911 immediately. Okay, guys, we're going to move on here. We'll get back to that story in just a little bit. But if you stepped out this morning, you definitely noticed the heavy rain that came down. I know I did. And if you're traveling today, that could be something to keep in mind. So our Kim Leoffler is tracking the road conditions for you right now. Kim joins us live. Kim, it is great to see you. Can you let us know where you're at and what you're seeing right now?
Yeah, it was certainly a mess out there earlier, Ariel, but things are certainly looking a lot different right now. We are heading towards the LaGrange area at the moment. I'm going to have you take a look out the window here so you can see what we're seeing. And we're actually starting to see some blue skies, see the sun peek through there just a little bit, but this is certainly the calm before the next round of storms, as we expect another line of severe weather to move through here a little later on today. Of course, this is one of the busiest travel periods right now ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday. AAA is projecting that around 2.3 million Georgians are traveling for the Thanksgiving holiday. A lot of them driving their own vehicles. That's just on the roadway. And this is also people that are going to be traveling at least 50 miles from home. So you can certainly see it's pretty busy here on the interstate right now. We've certainly hit a couple backups as well as we've been out and about so far today. But we have some video in house for you. Our photojournalist Billy Heath shot this video a little bit earlier today. This is the first round of storms that came through here this morning. Really heavy downpours in many areas. And in the Midtown area, we saw some water piling up on some roadways as well. That's certainly something that we're always concerned about with these systems. As the water covers the road there, we always tell you, if you do come across standing water, turn around. And you don't know how high that water is, because you certainly don't want your vehicle to get stuck in any of that high water. So again, we're going to be out on the roads here this afternoon. So far, everything is looking good, but we are expecting that next round of severe weather to head in here a little later on this evening. Our meteorologists are telling us that the Grange is going to be an area where we're going to start seeing some of that. The first area in our viewing area to see some of that that heavy rain, the first ones from this next system. So we'll certainly keep you updated throughout the afternoon.
Kim, thank you so much. So good to know. You know, it was just insane this morning. I got caught in that deluge coming from my workout class. 1 minute it wasn't raining. The next minute it was like the sky had opened up. So if we're tracking that again, which I know our meteorologists say by tonight, that line of showers and storms are going to come through, it really gives us an idea of what to prepare for, because that is a lot of rain.
Yeah, absolutely. And it certainly has been a little bit since we've seen severe weather like this. So certainly something very good for all of us to keep in mind.
All right. Well, Kim, thank you so much for tracking the road for us. Hopefully you guys have smooth sailing and everybody else out on the road is able to make it to their destination safely. So, Kim, thank you so much. Guys, I'm going to bring you back and talk to you about travel a little bit more, because if you're headed out, I want to let you know about some of the best times to leave for Thanksgiving travel. And this is, of course, if you are driving today or tomorrow or really anytime this week. One of the things to keep in mind is that you're going to have a lot of company on the roads and in the skies. I know you've been hearing us say it. It's a record-breaking travel week that we are expecting. Federal officials are reassuring Americans that if you're flying, the shutdown-related delays are behind us, but our nation's airports are really facing their most significant stress tests since the end of the government shutdown. This is really a busy travel period, and we're expecting record numbers of people to hit the road and fly. Secretary Sean Duffy with the Transportation Department said that would be the busiest Thanksgiving that they have on record, with 31 million people flying. So that is something that he was predicting. And while things are in a better place than they were 2 weeks ago, considering the shutdown, flyers should still anticipate long lines and potential delays. FAA Administrator Brian Bedford has said the earlier you get there to the airport, the less stress you're going to have. Take it slow, work your way through the line, and you're going to make it. AAA is projecting around 73 million Americans are going to drive, which is really just incredible. So check your tires, fuel, and battery before you go. Just some handy-dandy things to make sure that you are good on. I think a lot of us may assume that those things are fine, and then when we get out there, we find it is a little bit interesting. So AAA says it responded to nearly 600,000 roadside calls last year for service. So that is something that they are tracking as well. And we're going to read a couple more. I want to get to a couple more national stories. And then I want to bring in meteorologist Jonathan Stacy here in just a bit, because if you are traveling today, you're likely wondering what the weather is going to look like. So we're going to get to that. In the meantime, I'd like to tell you a little bit more about what is going on with two high-profile indictments that a judge has just tossed out. This is a major blow for the White House's legal endeavors, because this judge said that these two big cases were not properly handled. These indictments were not properly handled. This issue, though, may be far from over. The two indictments we're talking about include the Justice Department's criminal cases against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James. A federal judge concluded the prosecutor picked by President Trump to lead the cases, Lindsay Halligan, was illegally appointed. Comey had been charged with lying to Congress back in 2020, while James was accused of lying on mortgage paperwork. Both cases were dismissed without prejudice, meaning charges could be brought again. But the developments are still a serious setback for the DOJ. James had released a statement praising the decision, writing in part, "I remain fearless in the face of these baseless charges as I continue fighting for New Yorkers every single day." Friday. Comey, who you see here on your screen, shared his thoughts on social media, saying this case mattered to me personally, obviously, but it matters most because the message has to be sent that the President of the United States cannot use the Justice Department to target his political enemies. And this woman you're seeing now, Lindsay Halligan, she's the one that this judge said was improperly appointed. Now, the Justice Department says it has no plans to back down. Attorney General Pam Bondi says they'll be taking all available legal action, including an immediate appeal to hold Letitia James and James Comey accountable. Comey's attorneys are arguing he can't be indicted again because the statute of limitations has expired. We're going to see what the DOJ has to say about that. So we'll continue to keep you updated there. In the meantime, though, you guys, I am going to go ahead and switch gears because I think if you are headed out on the road, you're probably wondering when is the best time to travel. Maybe some people, Jonathan, are traveling later today and they're wondering when they might get caught in a storm. So I'm ready to hear all about it.
There is a potential that you will get caught in some weather mayhem, so let's go ahead and break it down. On Fox 5 Live Upper Radar, you can see here, there's a smattering of showers up to the north of the metro area, but we are looking out to the west to see what will move eastward as we get deeper into the day. So I'm going to kind of take us off of our normal track here and push out here to the west. I want to show you that red indicates that there is a tornado watch in effect for much of central Alabama, as far north as Birmingham, going down as far south as Montgomery there, Tuscaloosa included in that. Our two Alabama counties, Randolph and Cleburne County, are not included in this watch area, but nonetheless, those storms are going to have to make a path through those two counties before they roll over the state line, moving eastward into North Georgia and eventually the Atlanta metro area. So you see these cells out here is pretty disorganized at this moment, but that disorganization should not cause us to let our guards down as we go through the afternoon and evening period. Where we're finding showers right now, once again, across North Georgia, mainly for the North Metro, going up to portions of Paulding County, Bartow, Cherokee in the mix, even southern portions of Hall County getting in on the action, along with Murray and Whitfield counties. More of a heftier lobe of showers rolling over the extreme northwestern section of Polk County. Cedartown, you're dealing with light showers, but heavier showers up north, and I think those will meet Rome, your doorsteps, within the next hour or so. So let's go ahead and put these things in motion here. I don't want to spend too much time walking you through just kind of the nebulous. What is important is that there will be storms that will be bolder, stronger, more intense, and the coverage will increase as we get deeper into the day. So now we're in the post-sunset period at 6 o'clock on the hour-by-hour forecast. And you see a line has developed, but there are two lines here, a skinnier line that is already lingering across the Atlanta metro area, and then a more aggressive line that is to the north and to the west. Those lines are going to eventually merge. One is going to slow down and the other is going to speed up, playing catch up. Look how the model pans this out. It's now about 8 o'clock, and we're getting hit with some heavy downpours along with gusty winds across the Atlanta metro area. What will be different about this second line of the day, in contrast to what we had earlier today, this morning, is I think the winds will have a bite to them. So there could be some damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour. But we also will factor in a pretty prolific light show. We're talking about some lightning that will be fairly robust. So if you're trying to put the kids down or you're trying to do something out and about, it's going to be disruptive by anything, by the noise, but also obviously not a great situation to be driving in, trying to fly in or out of town in. This will continue through the 10, 11, and 12 o'clock hours. And so I want to draw another contrast aerial in that this morning we saw a swift line move through. It was raining really hard. Came in from the gym, hopped in the shower. It was coming down, and I was like, oh my God, I don't want to have to drive to work in it. And I didn't, because by the time I got outside, we were scot-free, just dealing with some light showers. That is not this line. The line that comes tonight is going to take its sweet time moving through. So there are a couple things that you should keep in mind. That's going to increase the risk for severe storms. The cells are going to put out some pretty potent gusts. Also, that's going to raise the rainfall rates as these cells kind of sit in place. They will fester. Here's the antecedent issue at this point. We have to keep in mind that we're in fall. This is a secondary severe weather season,
Yes.
if you will. But what is falling from the trees?
Leaves.
Leaves.
Lots of them.
And that starts to impact our drainage, how we clear out the water with our sewer system. So when we think about that, we have to keep in mind that, you know, whether you've been responsible with the leaf in your yard or not, it doesn't matter. Water knows no bounds when it comes to our infrastructure across North Georgia, and that there will be some issues, and we will likely have some really quick pop-up floods. So I think that is something that has been underestimated or understated with this potential round of severe weather, that there could be some isolated but impactful areas that face flash flooding, and that's even here in the metro area. It's not just a rural threat.
Jonathan, I think that is such an important distinction. I can 100% see that, because this morning, the way that water came in so much so quickly, if tonight it's going to take its sweet time, that impact will be felt.
Exactly. And the ground was filled up with about maybe a half-inch of rainfall, so we didn't get a squabble or a sprinkle. We got a healthy dose of rain, which overall is helping us with the drought that we're in, but nonetheless, it's coming in a very short window of time, and these storms are going to be quite hefty in what they deliver. So you can see here they parade across the area, but it's a slow movement. By 10 o'clock, there are areas out east from Athens going out to Lake Country all the way down to Thomaston, still dealing with some really, really heavy rain along with wind gusts. There could be some intermittent pockets of hail, but I'm not greatly concerned about that risk. Okay, it's now 5 o'clock in the morning and things are starting to look better. I am sensing that we're running out of time, but here's the deal I want to show you really quick.
Please,
is that our temperatures, they are on the run up, and it's kind of reminding me of a song, Run Up, Get Done Up. This is what you got. Anytime you have a temperature nearing 80 degrees on what is the 25th day of October in Thomaston, and you have an aggressive line moving in, that is an atmosphere that is ripe to give way to some really strong storm activity that could potentially be severe. When that's all said and done, by the time you wake tomorrow morning, cooler air will be on our doorsteps and cold air first thing Thanksgiving Day.
Okay, Jonathan, this is very helpful. Rain tonight. Prepare for that slow-moving system just to kind of sit this evening.
And there will be ground stops, unfortunately.
So definitely will affect your travel. Cooler for Thanksgiving, and we'll have that fall feel, but warmer next week. So, Jonathan, as always, thank you so much. We really appreciate your time. Guys, I'm going to let you look at this forecast real quick while I get organized here in the background. One of the things that we want to get to next, it does look like our Tyler Fingert is out live, so I think we want to go to him next to see what is the latest with this Amber Alert situation. So we're going to switch gears here. We have a very busy Tuesday afternoon, and Tyler, it looks like you're live out here. Thanks so much for joining us. What can you tell us? What are you learning right now?
Yeah, hey, Ariel, good afternoon to you. We've arrived on scene to the area where this apparent abduction happened this morning. Right behind me is Fielder Road, right in Clayton County. But I want to show you the suspect who they are actively searching for at this hour, who, according to Clayton County Police, abducted a 2-month-old baby named Roman Williams. The suspect they are searching for, police say the child's father, 25-year-old Tariq Denzel Williams, assaulted the baby's mother, then took her 2017 silver Volkswagen Passat, leaving her stranded and driving off with the child. This all happened near the intersection of Fielder Road and Mount Zion Road, and this obviously a domestic incident. The car has a Georgia tag, DCA 8894. Detectives believe Williams was heading toward I-75 and maybe traveling south, possibly toward Florida. Williams now faces multiple charges, including kidnapping, false imprisonment, simple battery, motor vehicle theft, interference with a 911 call, and cruelty to children. Obviously, a lot of people probably got that alert on their phone less than an hour ago. We immediately started heading towards Clayton County to bring you this breaking news story as the active search for a 2-month-old baby who was abducted, apparently, according to the Clayton County Police, by his father. This investigation obviously continuing. This happened earlier today, several hours ago, and that child with that father apparently heading southbound on I-75, they believe possibly towards Florida. As I was making my way down here, I don't know if we have the video clip, but I was able to see multiple billboards on my way down south towards Clayton County actually showing this Amber Alert, and obviously that's important because they want people to have their eyes peeled for the vehicle, that Volkswagen Passat, along with that license plate number, which I'm going to read for you one more time. If you happen to be out and about and see it, the tag is DCA8894. And again, he is possibly heading south towards Florida, but police don't know that for sure. So they're really telling everyone throughout the state of Georgia to be on the lookout. They are saying that the child is in extreme danger. So this is an urgent plea to be able to find him and be able to get that child reunited with his mother. That's obviously a very concerning situation just days before Thanksgiving now. We know a lot of people are on the road, so hopefully someone can be able to recognize that car, Ariel, and help bring a close to this very trying circumstances for that mother, I'm sure, who is just devastated right now that her 2-month-old baby is now out there right now. No one knows what's happening to him, and obviously the search for that 25-year-old suspect is ongoing right now to try to bring a close to this Amber Alert, or here in Georgia, Maddie's call.
Yeah, Tyler, thank you so much for this update. And we were able to quickly get in the videos that you sent us, so thank you so much. The billboards that investigators were quickly able to get up there along the interstate. Absolutely heartbreaking situation. I guess the good news of it being a busy Thanksgiving travel period with a lot of people out on the roads is maybe someone, like you said, will see something. They'll see this silver Passat and they will be able to call 911 immediately. Definitely important to reiterate, this child could be in danger, and officials are hoping that you see something and are able to call them right away. So Tyler, I'll let you go and get working on this story. I know you have a lot of things to get ready for, but I appreciate your time and the update, and thank you for sending this video in on your way. Very helpful. Okay, guys, we're going to move on here because coming up, we have a couple national stories to get to. Coming up, I want to let you know where we stand with the peace talks between Russia and Ukraine, and that's coming up next. Well, welcome back, you guys. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thanks so much for streaming along with us. I want to move internationally here for a second because this is a big story. We may have a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine, but of course, I put a question mark on the end of it because it seems every time we say that we could be getting close, something happens to impede the progress. But let's go through it and see where we stand right now, because the president was hopeful, President Trump, that we could be seeing some momentum between Russia and and Ukraine. We know the United States and Russian officials met earlier today as a peace deal continues to take shape. Ukrainians are reportedly ready to sign a peace agreement, but Russia has launched a massive deadly attack overnight. So let's get into where we stand. U.S. officials says Ukraine has signed on to this American-backed peace plan, but the same can't be said for Russian President Vladimir Putin, who sent 22 missiles and 460 drones into Kyiv overnight, killing at least 7 people. Ukraine has launched an attack that killed 3 in southern Russia, meanwhile. But the key thing here is that critics said the initial 28-point peace plan presented by the United States heavily favored Russia. A U.S. official tells Fox News after some fine-tuning, the Ukrainians are now on board with, quote, minor details to be sorted out, end quote. But Russia reportedly liked the original plan, and it could be hard to convince Putin to accept the Ukrainian negotiated changes. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll met with a Russian delegation in Abu Dhabi Tuesday as U.S. negotiators try to convince their counterparts to end this nearly 4-year war. So we're going to have to see how this plays out. But a Ukrainian official says Volodymyr Zelensky, Ukraine's president, will soon head here to the United States to finalize a deal directly with President Trump. Of course, as soon as that happens, we'll let you know right here on Fox Local. In the meantime, I want to let you know where we stand with the ongoing situation in Venezuela, because President Trump has reportedly told his advisors he wants to speak and is planning to speak directly with Nicolas Maduro. Operation Southern Spear is continuing in the Caribbean as President Trump considers this new plan. More foreign airlines are now canceling flights to Venezuela as President Trump is ramping up his pressure on Maduro's regime. According to a report from Axios, the president has told his advisors he plans to speak directly with Venezuela's leader about his war on narco-terrorism. Now, this comes despite the State Department designating a cartel linked to Maduro as a foreign terrorist organization. The Maduro regime has denied the existence of this cartel and says it would not be deterred by threats from the United States. If President Trump were to give the green light to strike inside Venezuela, there's plenty of firepower nearby. That's because the U.S. has been amassing warships in the Caribbean. New images show Marines aboard the USS Fort Lauderdale just 7 miles off the coast. And on Monday, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Raisin Kane, visited Puerto Rico, where thousands of troops, sailors, and pilots are stationed. You can see images there. Despite concerns from some lawmakers, the White House says strikes on suspected drug smuggling boats in the region will continue. Now, I want to jump ahead here because one of the things I want to take a look at is ChatGPT is rolling out a new shopping feature. And this could be your best friend or maybe your worst enemy for your budget. So this OpenAI, the artificial intelligence company behind ChatGPT, says that they're adding this new shopping research feature to their chatbot. The company says any shopping-related question will trigger the feature. Users can narrow down the specific items they're shopping for by answering more questions about preferences like price, intended use for the item, and desired features. The products can be bought on the retailer's website, but OpenAI says it plans to add an instant checkout feature where users can buy the product inside ChatGPT. All ChatGPT users are going to have nearly unlimited usage of this assistant during this holiday shopping season. So if you try it out, let me know. Do you like it? What does it look like? Because I'm curious. Maybe you would use that feature to shop for toys. Maybe you would be looking at what your kids would be wanting for the holidays. And one thing we're taking a look at now is some of the top toys from 2025. Our Chris Rosenthal is out live to give us a sneak peek. And Chris, I have to say, this is a pretty sweet gig. You know, I think playing with some toys, surveying some toys, it sounds like a good way to spend a Tuesday afternoon.
Oh, absolutely. I've been a big kid out here all day here at Camp Atlanta in Dunwoody. If you haven't been to this place, it's pretty cool. It's a toy store and an experience. They got lots of fun toys. You can really get your hands on those toys. I'll flip the camera around here, just kind of give you a show of the store here. And I am with Douglas here, Camp Atlanta. And Douglas, you have all these toys laid out out here for us, and these are all toys that are popular this year. Give me a rundown here.
Yeah, so camp, we have toys basically for every age group, every interest. We have active toys like our micro scooters, even our Ollie ball, like a simple ball like this for Keepy Uppy is really popular with all of the kids. Since we are a Paw Patrol themed store at the moment, we have our Paw Patrol merchandise, which is always very popular for those that come in. Also, STEM is really popular. We have great items like the Rail Cube, where they get to program and engineer their own little monorail that'll race around the tracks. Companies like Fat Brain have really good toys for pretend play, like our cinnamon roll and lemonade stand set, our engineering air tubes, which is air-powered play, and even for the toddlers, simple toys like stacking toys like our Spin Again, very satisfying, spinning, colorful items. And of course, we have our board, which is being played with right now by some friends.
Yeah, this is really popular. I mean, I even was playing with this, and it's pretty addictive, huh?
Yes, it's very addictive. It's very intuitive. You can pick it up and get started really easily. It's a tabletop console that allows you to use pieces that come alive as the tools to play these games cooperatively, competitively, strategy games, a lot of teamwork, great for game night.
It's like a board game, but it's a screen. So,
yes.
But yeah, I mean, stuff here really kind of for all ages, and yeah, I mean, I love that you guys have some stuff here that pertains to STEM as well. And also, people come here. There's also a Paw Patrol experience, huh?
Yes. Our Paw Patrol experience is through our magic door. Yeah. You go into Adventure Bay and you train just like the pups would train. Awesome. So race like Chase, fly like Sky, to keep Adventure Bay safe.
Sounds great. Awesome. Well, you guys can come here to Camp Atlanta in Dunwoody and check out the toys and check out the Paw Patrol experience.
Chris, I am having the time of my life living vicariously through you. It looks so fun. A toy store is just an amazing place to be. And, if you were to bring me something really cool back, like, just a cool toy, just a little something, I might be able to throw in maybe a Thanksgiving dish for your troubles. I'm going to sweet talk you because those toys, kid at heart, this is looking pretty sweet. So, Chris Rosenthal, thank you so much.
Maybe one of these zebras here.
Yes, maybe one of those. All right. We thank you so much. Okay, guys, coming up, I have another something sweet to tell you about, and that is the Atlanta Ballet is bringing back the Nutcracker as it does every year, and we're going to talk to them a little bit about what to expect this year. If you're headed out for this family favorite tradition, what you can expect coming up next. Well, welcome back. It's the time of year where I think a lot of us are thinking about our holiday traditions, what Christmas bars we're going to go to, what light shows we want to see, and of course, the Atlanta Ballet's Nutcracker is central to a lot of families' Thanksgiving and holiday plans as they begin to think about what to do during this season. So I'd like to bring in Sharon Story, Dean of the Atlanta Ballet Center for Dance Education. Sharon, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much for inviting us. We're excited to be here. The studios are buzzing with the children and the company getting together all this week.
So I have to ask, with the ballet, I mean, this happens every year, and every year you guys put such a unique spin on a timeless classic tale, and I'd love to know, what can people who are looking forward to the Nutcracker this year, what can they expect and look forward to?
They can expect a spectacular performance. There's tons of new videos. This is Yuri Paskov's performance. It's a beautiful performance. As you can see, a big, huge chair, and everything is magical. We have 215 children from the Center for Dance Education in the show, and also the Atlanta Ballet, excellent professional company performing. It runs from December 6th to the 27th.
Okay, December 6th to the 27th. I'm excited to be going pretty soon in the season, so then I can tell my friends, you know, what to expect before tickets run out. Sharon, I have to ask too, so when we're looking at this, tell me a little bit about, you have such an impressive career yourself. Joffrey Ballet, I mean, you've really done so many incredible things in your career as a dancer, and now you're with the Atlanta Ballet Center for Dance Education. Tell me a little bit about this role and how you're able to inform and shape what the Atlanta Ballet does.
Well, I'm very excited to be here and also run the school, but my professional career really helps enhance all the performances that go on. So I'm very blessed to pass on the tradition that I have been so fortunate to receive. Right now, we start with the children in September and October. So September is the audition, and then we rehearse them every weekend in October. And the company starts in October, November, and it takes 2 months to put this production together, ready for on stage. And that's not only including all the rehearsal hours, but also the production department loads 10 trucks to the Cobb Energy Center, and they will be loading on Saturday. So this week we're knee deep in it, marrying the children with the company, and we have Thanksgiving Day off, and then we are back at it Friday and Saturday. And we're excited to move into the theater on Tuesday and practice with the live orchestra. It is really, really so much fun and so rewarding to see this production perform on stage, opening night, and every single performance has just as much energy, beauty, and magic as the first one.
Sharon, I think the kids are probably one of my favorite parts of the ballet. They just have so much personality, and it's so cool to see how hard they have worked. And I understand 195 students are participating this year. Is that correct?
That is correct. And also we have 18 Atlanta Ballet 2 members, along with our Academy members. So six Academy 6 members have the privilege of performing with the company, and this builds their career. It's bridge steps to becoming a company member. And so altogether, there's 215 students from the Atlanta Ballet Center for Dance Education, our community engagement programs, and also our programs in Buckhead and Virginia Highlands.
Wow, incredible that local kids locally here can get this kind of opportunity. If someone's streaming along with us right now and they think, wow, I want to get involved, or I want to know more maybe about how I can get my child involved, what information could you give them?
I would tell them, come see the Nutcracker. Please come visit our website, and please contact us. We would love to have you. And our whole mission is to provide excellent training for anybody and everybody that wants to come join us. We also have a very wonderful adult dance program that goes from 18 to 70, and we have Dance for Life, and also our Silver Swans program. So no matter what age you are, come dance with us. We would love to have you. And please, please come see the magic of the Nutcracker.
I'm watching this video from years past, and it's definitely getting me in the spirit. Sharon, some final questions here before I let you go. Give us to us one more time. When does the Nutcracker run? Where is it happening? And how should people make the most of their time to come see it?
It's from December 6th through December 27th. It is at the Cobb Energy Performing Arts Center. The whole atmosphere in the lobby will be a lovely holiday atmosphere. We have a boutique. So please just bring your family, come and enjoy.
Awesome. Sharon, I can't wait to see it myself. I wish you all the success with the production this year. I'm sure it will be beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your time and energy with us here this afternoon. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, and happy holidays.
Awesome. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Okay, guys, speaking of Thanksgiving, I want to switch gears here because one of the annual Thanksgiving traditions we see every year, right, is the president pardoning the Thanksgiving turkeys. And today, President Trump did just that. He spared Waddle and Gobble. You are taking a live look at the White House, and this Thanksgiving turkey pardon happened just a bit ago. And I want to let you listen in to a short bite from the president as he pardoned these turkeys. Let's listen.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Just asked if they
Looks like a rather violent bird. Are you ready? Gobble. I just want to tell you this very important. You are hereby unconditionally pardoned. Praise the Lord. That's good. Beautiful. It looks nice. Who would want to harm this beautiful bird? That's good. That's good. Thank you very much. Fantastic job. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody.
Well, presidents have been pardoning turkeys as far back as the Lincoln era, but the first official pardon to turkeys was granted by George H.W. Bush in 1989. President Trump continuing that tradition at the White House today. I'd like to also let you listen in. Now that you've seen the turkey pardon, before President Trump did that, he spoke for roughly 15 minutes about his big, beautiful bill, the United States economy, and a few other things, and I'd like to let you listen to that now.
I hope you like our new beautiful patio with matching stone to the White House. If this were grass today, you'd be sinking into the mud like they've done for many years, and you would be very unhappy. Please, thank you very much. This was a big day. It's a pardon day for a very important beast. On behalf of the First Lady and the entire Trump family, I want to wish all Americans a very, very happy Thanksgiving. It's a great time of the year, and our country is doing really well, economically, like we've never done before. Today, we continue a time-honored American tradition. Well, that's a well-trained turkey. See how happy he is? In a few moments, I will grant a full, absolute, and unconditional presidential pardon to two handsome Thanksgiving turkeys, and this is their lucky day. This is a lucky day for them. But before going any further, I want to make an important announcement, because you remember last year, after a thorough and very rigorous investigation by Pam Bondi and all of the people at the Department of Justice, the FBI, the CIA, the White House Counsel's Office, and the Department of Everything. We have a Department of Everything. You know what that is? I think that's called the White House. Into a terrible situation caused by a man named Sleepy Joe Biden. He used an auto pen last year for the turkey's pardon. So I have the official duty to determine, and I have determined that last year's turkey pardons are totally invalid. As are the pardons of about every other person that was pardoned other than, where's Hunter? No, Hunter's was good. That was the one pardon, Pam, that was good, right? The rest of them are all invalid. I don't know what the hell you're going to do about that, but that's, now we're going to take a little of the joking. That is a mess. But they're hereby null and void. The turkeys known as Peach and Blossom last year have been located, and they were on their way to be processed. In other words, to be killed. But I have stopped that journey, and I am officially pardoning them, and they will not be served for Thanksgiving dinner. We saved them in the nick of time. This one has plenty of time, but they were saved in the nick of time. We're thrilled to be joined today by Vice President J.D. Vance, Second Lady Usha Vance, their daughter Mirabelle, and along with Attorney General Pam Bondi, Secretaries Marco Rubio, Scott Bessent, Pete Hegseth, Brooke Rollins, Howard Lutnick, Linda McMahon, Scott Turner, Administrator Lee Zeldin, who's done a great job. A nuclear power plant gets approved in less than a week. Okay? I'm only kidding, but pretty close to that. And we have more. Where's Lee? Stand up, Lee. One of my great superstars. Thank you. Used to take 20 years before you got rejected when you put in an application. Now we're doing them in a matter of weeks, right?
Well, that's President Trump speaking there at the White House as he gets ready to pardon the Thanksgiving turkeys this year, Waddle and Gobble, which we just saw him do. As he mentioned, last year's turkeys were Peach and Blossom. And this annual White House tradition is always pretty funny to watch. And this year it seemed like the turkeys were really paid actors gobbling on cue for the president. So funny to see there. But guys, I'm going to switch gears here because if you are just tuning into our live stream, we have an important update to get to, and that involves a missing baby, a 2-month-old that was abducted, believed to be abducted by his father. So I see a lot of you here in our YouTube chat asking questions about the Amber Alert, and is it still ongoing? Yes, this statewide Amber Alert was issued for this missing 2-month-old baby you see here on your right, Roman Williams, and they believe that the baby's father abducted him just about an hour or so ago. This happened in Clayton County. Clayton County officials issuing that Amber Alert for the 2-month-old baby. And one of the things to keep in mind here is that if you were to see the vehicle in question of this Amber Alert, you see it there on your screen, you're urged to call 911 immediately. Police believe the baby could be in extreme danger. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about why. But first, this car that you're going to keep an eye out for is this silver 2017 Volkswagen Passat, Georgia tag. You see the numbers there, DCA 8894. And right now we know that officials are searching for that father. The abduction happened around 8:35 this morning, so keep that in mind. I did say just a bit ago, but actually we got that Amber Alert a short time ago. The baby, they believe, was abducted this morning. So I'm going to go through what we know right now. They believe that the father, Tariq Denzel Williams, got into an argument with the baby's mother. And after that point, police say Williams assaulted the baby's mother, forcibly took control of her silver 2017 Volkswagen Passat, that car we just showed you, and left her stranded and took off with the baby. The vehicle was tracked moving towards I-75 before heading, or actually it was tracked near I-75, and investigators actually believe that Williams could be traveling south with the intention of going to Florida. So it was southbound I-75 that they last found him. Warrants have been issued for Williams: kidnapping, false imprisonment, simple battery, theft by taking a motor vehicle, theft by taking, interference with a 911 call, and cruelty to children are all of the charges that we are talking about here. So if you guys have any questions here in the chat, I'm keeping an eye out for them to see if I can answer them. But to answer Chris Perla's question, yes, this Amber Alert is still ongoing. And I know some of you are saying your hearts go out to the mother. It's something that when I was discussing this with Tyler just a bit ago, he was saying the same thing. No one wants this to happen, and especially right before the Thanksgiving holiday. Absolutely heartbreaking. So We'll keep you updated if we hear anything new. Right now, you're taking a look at billboards that police were able to get up. Tyler was able to get this video for us and send it back. But these billboards have the baby's photo on the right there and his father's photo there on the left. Again, the suspect, 25-year-old Tariq Williams, and that baby is 2-month-old Roman Williams. So if you see this vehicle, that silver Passat, please call 911 immediately. Police believe the baby could be in extreme danger. If I get anything new, you guys, I will let you know as soon as I have it. In the meantime, I want to move on to a couple of other stories that have had some of you talking. We've been seeing it here online, and I want to make sure I hit those for you because it may affect your wallet. So let's get into both of them. One deals with your power bill that could be going up. Georgia Power is actually working to add more energy to the grid, but state analysts say this could mean higher monthly bills. So with growth and progress comes higher prices, it seems. But I want to go through this because the utility company says it needs more power to keep up with potential demand from new data centers that are moving here into Georgia. Georgia Power has raised rates 6 times since 2022, and while the Public Service Commission did approve a rate freeze through 2028, advocates are worried customers could see another spike as soon as that freeze expires. So we'll keep you updated if that changes, but keep in mind it is up for discussion as to whether or not your power bills could go up as more data centers move into our state. Another story that could affect your wallet, the price of beef is definitely going up, and America's actually facing a growing beef crisis. One of our country's biggest meat suppliers, Tyson, is closing one of its largest processing plants. Prices are still high, and U.S. cattle herds are at their lowest levels in 7 decades. The U.S. is the world's biggest beef producer and supplies much of the world's red meat. But now we're facing this crisis with prices being up and supply being low. There could be supply issues coming soon after Tyson Foods announced that they're closing one of their plants, and they expect to lose at least $400 million on beef next year. Now, Brooke Rollins, commissioner of the USDA, U.S. Department of Agriculture, says that they're opening up 5 million acres of grazing land and working to support cattle ranchers. So the White House says help is on the way, and it's focused on getting prices down. But Democrats on Capitol Hill claim the administration's policies created this issue. Ranchers also say a big part of the problem is market consolidation. Tyson and 3 other meat packers process the overwhelming majority of America's beef, and the Justice Department's now investigating those companies for price fixing. So ranchers with no relief in sight, some say they're thinking about finding new jobs. So this is an ongoing problem that we'll keep you updated on. Right now, a pound of ground beef is 11% more expensive than it was last year. Okay, guys, coming up, we have a couple other things to get to. One of the stories, Aungelique Proctor's been working hard on this, and it involves a brawl that happened between Gainesville High and Brunswick. And multiple players have been suspended, and we're going to get into why this happened coming up next. Well, welcome back. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thanks so much for streaming along here with us. If you have been keeping up with high school football here, you know one of the big stories is a playoff brawl that broke out between Gainesville and Brunswick. And multiple players have now been suspended from both teams. Our Aungelique Proctor's been following this story for us. So, Aungelique, this is a big head scratcher. Watching that video and seeing those students go at it, what are you learning this afternoon?
Well, good afternoon to you from Gainesville. So many people have so many questions. And as you can imagine, these suspensions have been the talk of the town here. Now, we just learned from Gainesville athletic director that this fight might not be over. I was just talking with Adam Lindsay, who tells me that he is working with the school system's legal team to file some sort of injunction and definitely explore that option either today or tomorrow. So this might very well go from the gridiron to the courtroom if they are successful. Gainesville thought that they would get some kind of relief today with the appeals this morning, but with only 4 of those 39 suspensions being reversed, they are still very dissatisfied, displeased with what has happened here, and that has a whole lot of people in this community talking. Now, take a look. No doubt you have seen the video. It is all over social media. This is the all-out third-quarter brawl from Friday night when Gainesville played Brunswick. Now, the superintendent and Gainesville head coach made it clear they are disappointed with this appeals hearing result. They say with only 4 of the 39 suspensions being reversed, their team is really at a disadvantage.
This is not about football. This is not about Gainesville. This is about showing how rules cannot always be equally applied in every situation. There is a gray area that we live in as administrators.
When your brother doesn't have a helmet on and a guy takes a 40-yard sprint and hits him and sideswipes him, you're just going to stand on the sideline? No, you're going to do what's natural. And you're going to protect your brothers. And that's the way I raise these kids, to have each other's back. And that's what I think needs to be known here. The guys that threw punches, hey, they need to be out. They need to be ejected. But the guys that tried to help their brothers, I don't think they should.
Lots of passion there from the head coach. A lot of people here in Gainesville definitely agree with him. And the interesting thing here is that the players on Brunswick's team actually started this brawl, and even their head coach admitted that they had a lot of soul searching to do with that team, basically sounding like, that they were admitting that the behavior was unacceptable. And so a lot of people locally are wondering, well, if they started it, why are we then being punished right now, looking at some 35 suspensions with those being reversed? The other thing is, a lot of people have been asking how many Brunswick players were suspended. We have gotten that information. It's 41 of them. They also face a $5,000 fine, and perhaps the most severe penalty is that their 1-year postseason ban for next year will go into effect, so they cannot play postseason next year. Ariel?
Wow. Aungelique, we're running out of time, but so many questions. I know this is a huge story, and absolutely you can hear the passion on behalf of the coaches saying, if they started it, why are we facing these consequences? Coach Niblett was saying that I know officials were being biased against them in the game, and he just felt that his players were needing to potentially defend themselves in this. So going to see how this plays out. I appreciate your reporting as always. I appreciate our conversation. So thank you so much. I'll let you continue to gather information as we move on here to our 3 o'clock hour, which is about to begin. I'm Ariel Onstadt, guys. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We'll have more news and weather for you coming up.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us here for the 3 p.m. streaming hour here on Fox Local. I'm Tom Haynes with you live in the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom on a day when there is a lot happening 2 days away from the Thanksgiving holiday. First, the weather. It is what we've all been dealing with today as some storms rolled through earlier this morning, and we're expecting yet another round to come through. We're also following breaking news this afternoon in that there is an Amber Alert. Clayton County Police issuing that alert about an hour ago, looking for the father that you see here and his 2-month-old baby. Investigators looking for a 2017 silver Volkswagen Passat sedan. The license plate number, listen up here, DCA 8894. Let's get out to Fox 5's Tyler Fingert, who's been on top of this story since it broke this afternoon. Tyler, I understand that we're learning a little bit more about the father in this situation and his criminal past.
Yeah, Tom, good afternoon to you. The urgent search is underway to find this 2-month-old baby. And yes, the person who is accused of taking that child earlier today apparently does have a criminal past. According to court records I've been looking through over the last hour since I last joined Ariel on Fox Local, and I was able to learn that he was on probation at the time of this alleged crime where he allegedly abducted his child from Clayton County this morning. So what we know is that back in 2019, he was arrested for a burglary charge, and then in 2022, he took a negotiated plea and was on 5 years of probation, and obviously still serving that probation time right now. And I was just looking through the court records, and I was able to find that they have already filed a warrant for his arrest using that probation as a reason to revoke his ability to be free, because obviously they're trying to track him down right now with that 2-month-old baby. So here's what we know. We're showing you his picture. We want to show you who they're looking for. It's Tariq Denzel Williams. He is accused, according to Clayton County Police, of abducting his 2-month-old baby, Roman Williams. Investigators say the infant was taken during a domestic incident in the area of Fielder Road and Mount Zion Road. Police say the child's father, 25-year-old Tariq Denzel Williams, assaulted the baby's mother, then took her silver 2017 Volkswagen Passat, leaving her stranded and driving off with the child. Tom, as you mentioned, the car has a Georgia tag, DCA 8894. Detectives believe Williams was heading toward I-75 and maybe traveling south, possibly towards Florida. And I want to show you another piece of video as I was driving down to Clayton County to do this story and start covering this breaking news. I was able to pull off on the side of the road and get some video of these billboards that are now up throughout the state of Georgia, where they are warning drivers throughout the area to be on the lookout for this man so they can be able to find that 2-month-old child he is accused of abducting. Williams, according to the Clayton County Police Department, faces multiple charges, including kidnapping, false imprisonment, simple battery, motor vehicle theft, interference with a 911 call, and cruelty to children. Anyone with information about the suspect, the child, or the vehicle is asked to call 911 immediately. The Clayton County Police Department issued the Amber Alert, obviously, because they want this to be an urgent search. Likely, if you were anywhere in the Georgia area or in the region, you may have gotten that Amber Alert on your phone, and that's obviously going to be hopefully the thing that helps bring this to a close, and they can hopefully bring that child back home to his mother. Right now, again, that urgent search underway right now for Tariq Denzel Williams, who is on the run. He is 25 years old, and according to the Clayton County Police Department, he allegedly abducted his 2-month-old baby, Roman Williams, this morning in this area where we are right now. We're working to gather a lot more details about what exactly happened. I've been in contact with the Clayton County Police Department, and I'm going to have the very latest coming up on Fox 5 News at 4, 5, and 6. Tom?
Yeah, Tyler, we just popped up a picture once again. Can't show it enough of this father and his 2-month-old. That 2017 silver Volkswagen Passat sedan with the license DCA 8894, Tyler. You know, in these types of cases, when an Amber Alert goes out, not only are we blasted on our phones, the billboards going up. Tell us how important those flock cameras are in being able to track down vehicles. They are really fanned out all over the metro Atlanta area, and if they get a hit on one of those license plates, tell us what happens.
Yeah, so obviously when a vehicle is spotted that has a lookout for it, a bolo out, the police departments can be notified when a flock camera gets a hit. AI, different types of technology are able to read those license plates and get the information back quickly, which is why I believe they know where that vehicle was heading towards and where it was last spotted here in Clayton County, as they believed it was heading southbound. I do want to mention one other thing. This apparently happened, according to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, about 8:35 this morning. We did not get notified about this incident until somewhere around 1 o'clock, after 1:30, somewhere in that range. So it's unclear why there was such a delay in getting this information out there. If he was heading towards Florida, he could be very close, if not already down there. So this is a lot of information we don't know at this point about why things were a little bit delayed in getting this information out there. But nevertheless, according to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, that 2-month-old baby is in danger, and they really need to be able to find this suspect, Tariq Denzel Williams, who is on the run at this hour, again wanted for a number of charges, but mainly they just really want to find that 2-month-old baby and get him back with his mother.
Yeah, well, in these cases, that's exactly where the focus is and should be, Tyler, on the safety and well-being of that infant child. Let's just hope and pray that police are able to catch up to that father and safely reclaim that child so they can get him back in the proper arms. Tyler Fingert covering this live. As soon as it broke, you were on top of it and headed down there with the very latest. We'll hear from you tonight on Fox 5 News on air at 4 o'clock. Tyler, thanks. Want to turn now to our weather. This is the week where so many people are traveling, as we take a live look from the Fox 5 Storm Chaser this afternoon, which has really been all over the metro Atlanta area. It looks pretty dry here, but that hasn't been the case all day long. A really strong band of showers and storms swept through the area this afternoon. The focus really is not only on the roadways, but Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport this afternoon, where so many people are headed inbound or outbound, and it's all dependent on what the weather does, what the weather did earlier this morning, delaying perhaps flights, and what it is going to do for the rest of the afternoon. To answer all these questions, we're joined by meteorologist Jonathan Stacy, who's been tracking our Thanksgiving forecast. Jonathan, in these days leading up to it, where so many people are trying to get in or out to their families this holiday season.
Yeah, by air, by rail, or possibly by car. And I'm not one to give edicts, but I will offer some suggestions. If your flight leaves after 7 o'clock, or you're expecting loved ones or friends, family members to arrive anytime after 8 o'clock, I just don't see a situation, atmospherically speaking, that you're not going to have some type of issue.
Okay, so we're expecting another round to push in here.
Yes, so this morning was kind of a quick sampling of what would be a more robust system that comes through tonight. What I wanted to show you here is we'll skip the state line and go over to central Alabama. You can see Birmingham and Tuscaloosa under the gun right now, and what you see in terms of counties shaded in red are all the counties that are under a tornado watch at this hour, and now a Fox 5 county is included in the watch as it is expanded to the east, and that is Randolph County. It will be in effect until 7 p.m. Central Time, and that is 8 p.m. Eastern, and you can see there a very nasty cell just outside of Lee County. If you're familiar with Lake Martin, this is the south end of the lake, approaching Auburn there as you get into, that's my neck of the woods, the area I grew up in, 85, and I don't think that will quite reach Troup County, which is our south and westernmost county, but nonetheless we have our eyes on that severe thunderstorm there. But I will announce that Randolph County is now included in that tornado watch. What we're looking at is a congealing of the energy, but even with these kind of rogue cells, you have to watch out for them because they can pack some pretty potent wind gusts, and they are some really prolific rainmakers. We're seeing rainfall amounts that we have not seen in months here across the deep south and North Georgia. You're going to eventually get in on that action. So as we look at North Georgia right now, what are we seeing? Just a smattering of light to moderate showers. It looks like the bulk of the activity at this point is centered over portions of Floyd and Bartow counties. Cherokee getting in the mix, along with some areas just to the south of Lake Lanier there. and northern Gwinnett, and even southern parts of Forsyth County dealing with a few showers grazing over the I-85 corridor. The models have not done a really great job at honing in on exactly how tonight's pattern would play out, but I think this snapshot at 6 p.m. will help us out a bit. So you can see here that as we get the rush hour going, you're going to work your windshield wipers a bit. If you're out and about trying to dash to the grocery store, pick the kids up, squeeze something in at the last moment here, you're likely going to run into something that will only last about 10 or 15 minutes. That's for the metro area and for points to the south and to the east. However, there's a second line that speeds up while that first line that's out over the metro area just kind of fizzles out and lingers in place. Those two lines literally join forces as we get deeper into the evening, and this is the situation at 9 o'clock tonight. From the mountains down through the foothills into North Georgia, into the metro area, the North Metro, and then eventually into the south side, and even as far south as middle Georgia, a really tight line of storms moves through. Here's the deal. Everybody I've been talking to throughout the day, Tom, has been talking about how swiftly those storms popped up this morning. They were in and they were out. They had a bite to them, but they didn't last long. This is not the same setup. These storms are going to kind of sag through. So at the very least, I think it's going to rain in your neighborhood for at least an hour, hour and a half. There's some models based on the way things are trending. That's 9, that's 10 o'clock, 11. I could see, even as this line crosses to the other side of the metro area going to the east, that you could have up to 3 hours of continuous rainfall. Wow. And as a result, there will be some flooding issues, some flash flooding issues of an isolated variety. That's for the metro area and even out in more rural areas. 2 o'clock in the morning, we still have rain along 20, going down 75, almost to 16 there, out across Lake Country. Talbotton, Thomaston really getting hit hard. That's where your temperatures have run up into the 70s, making the atmosphere rife to give way to some pretty strong thunderstorm activity. So follow the yellow here. This is where the lightning will be coming in off 59 through Anniston, Gadsden there. Look at the lightning that we will have in terms of a light show. So you'll want to go ahead and turn those Christmas lights off, pull them out, and I think there could be some issues to the power grid. We already experienced that in some parts and places this morning, so be prepared to lose power. And I don't think it will be a long enduring situation, but at least in a brief inconvenience. 9, 10 o'clock, we still have lightning out there. What I do see is a reduction in the lightning as we cross over into the new day, which is Wednesday there. There could still be some, obviously, some rumbles of thunder as we get deeper into the overnight hours, but overall, in terms of coverage, it will diminish. Basically, what we have, two cold fronts that are tag teaming each other. The first cold front is bringing tonight's storm activity, and then there's a second cold front, and it will hit us as we get a little bit deeper into the week, specifically on Thanksgiving Day. It comes through and it gives us that reinforcing shot of cold air. So just to recap this really quickly here, the focus at this point is set on really central Alabama. We'll see how those storms act as they pull out into the east between Birmingham and Montgomery over the next 6-hour period. As we get into the late afternoon going into the evening, we have our first round of storms, but the really kind of long enduring line, it arrives at 8 o'clock, and I think it will stick around till about midnight. My main concern is just robust lightning, something we have not seen in this area in quite some time. I think there will be an antecedent issue with flash flooding. Remember, the leaves have fallen. That will impact the drainage system. Damaging wind gusts. There are projectiles out there in the way of holiday decorations. You'll want to secure those or bring those inside. It was just 80 degrees a couple days ago, so you may even have some patio furniture out there or some lawn garden tools. You want to bring all that stuff inside if you can. A lower threat for hail, but there's still a threat in place for potential spin up. Once again, my focus is on the post-sunset period. As we get into the Thanksgiving holiday, things do calm down in terms of what is falling from the sky, but that cold air will be firmly afoot. In fact, turkey trotters will start out with temperatures that are near or below freezing across the area, Tom.
So these storms will not only carry rain with them, but the chance of lightning and severe weather, which, as you said, is going to definitely, possibly, listen to those two words together, but have an impact one way or another on the airport. Flights coming in tonight, even in advance of the storm, it may disrupt travel.
You have to think about any flights that are moving westward, you know, that are coming from the west trying to move eastward.
Trying to get through that.
Exactly. So they're having to go up. The system is much weaker as you get into the Tennessee Valley. So thankfully they'll have a path around it. But in terms of the deep south, we're going to be under the gun for the next 6 to 12 hours. So we'll be watching it every separate.
I think I heard you say is that it's going to last a few hours. This is going to hang out.
Yeah, this won't be kind of a quick hit in and out. And that's what this morning was. It was just kind of a glance and blow, if you will. These storms just don't have the forward motion that we would like. The front is not really attached to these storms, and so they kind of have some slow rudders. And so if the storms were moving at about 60 miles an hour, that's a safe speed for a state highway. Now let's put them in the thick of Atlanta traffic, and that's about 30 miles an hour. And so we're not looking at storms that really have an aggressive forward push. So once again, that is going to cause those rainfall rates to skyrocket. And if you're lawns have been desperate to get something, obviously we're in the dormant season safely at this point, but if you've been wanting some water, you're about to get your watershed moment tonight.
You guys have been saying, though, we're short of water. The drought situation has been a real thing around here, so might this deliver kind of the,
I really doubt it that we will be able to course correct before the month of November.
Every little bit helps,
I tell you, this system is really taking a sharp shot at getting us out of the deficit. We've already got more than a half inch of rainfall in some parts of North Georgia today. At the airport, a little bit more than 0.4 inches. I think we're going to easily get that to about an inch before the day's done.
Well, we'll take it where we can get it, hopefully without the disruptions at the airport and projectiles and things flying around tonight, power outages. But, of course, you know we'll stay on top of it all day and all night long.
Have a plan B. That's all I got to say.
Thanks. As we look live at Hartsfield-Jackson, there was impact felt this morning. There was a ground stop earlier today impacting flights. These aren't just flights headed out of Atlanta, but flights coming into the city got delayed as well, impacting flights leaving from here later today. So what happens in Atlanta ricochets across not only the United States, but the entire world, folks. Take a look at this time lapse from this morning when this system came in, and perhaps you were up. It happened at about 7:45, between 7:45 really and 8:15 this morning, when the clouds gathered. And it got nasty real quick with the wind and the rain. And this is what the airport looked like at about that time. Almost a blinding rain out there. So this canceled all flights during that time. In total, 634 flights were grounded today at Hartsfield-Jackson. 8 were canceled outbound and inbound as well. So some pretty serious activity at the airport this morning, all of which we followed here live on Fox 5. Well, we have a big update this afternoon on that fallout at Gainesville High School, the football brawl that no doubt you've seen video of. The GHSA Board of Trustees voting to reinstate 4 of those players that were involved in that big fight. Of the 39 players, only 4 got put back in. So they're going to play Friday Night Lights against Langston Hughes. Our Caitlin Pratt has been on top of this story all morning long and has this report.
An appeals hearing with the Georgia High School Association Board of Trustees wrapping up late this morning after an hour and a half with some disappointing results for the Gainesville High School football leaders. Let's dig into what exactly was decided here this morning. The board voting to reinstate 4 of 39 players they suspended from playing in the upcoming game on Friday. So here's the background on why this appeal was happening in the first place. The GHSA suspended 39 Gainesville football players following a benches clearing fight that erupted during Friday's playoff game at Brunswick. Let me set the scene for you. You're looking at video of it here. This was the third quarter, Gainesville leading 42-0, and that video you're looking at circulating on social media shows a Brunswick defender pulling the helmets off of 2 Gainesville players. Then he hits one, and this triggered players from both teams to rush to the field. So Gainesville then filed an appeal of those suspensions, saying the players who were hit and others who didn't even participate in this have been suspended just because they were on the field. And we were monitoring the meeting between the Board of Trustees, high school officials, where those social media videos from all different angles were played and shirt numbers were pinpointed. The school superintendent and football leaders saying after reviewing these videos, they were going to be appealing only 35 of the 39 player suspensions, admitting that 4 of their players indeed threw punches, and they say that was not acceptable.
This is not about football. This is not about Gainesville. This is about showing how rules cannot always be equally applied in every situation. There is a gray area that we live in as administrators.
When your brother doesn't have a helmet on and a guy takes a 40-yard sprint and hits him and sideswipes him, you're just going to stand on the sideline? No, you're going to do what's natural. And you're going to protect your brothers. And that's the way I raise these kids, to have each other's back. And that's what I think needs to be known here. The guys that threw punches, hey, they need to be out. They need to be ejected. But the guys that tried to help their brothers, I don't think they should.
So, again, an appeal on the mass suspensions, not what Gainesville High football coaches wanted. Only 4 of 39 players suspended will be reinstated. And what was decided today will determine the roster for Friday's game when Gainesville takes on undefeated Langston Hughes in the quarterfinals of the Class 5A state playoffs. I want to mention this was an interesting point in this virtual meeting. Brunswick football leaders taking responsibility for this entire incident, apologizing to the board, saying they have, quote, a lot of soul searching to do. That's the latest here at the Fox 5 Live Desk. I'm Caitlin Pratt, Fox 5 News.
All right, Caitlin, thanks again. That story has a lot of people talking on all of our social media sites from when it happened yesterday to into today. And it's something we're going to be talking about, no doubt, tonight on The Pulse, when you join us right here at 7 o'clock tonight. So don't miss that as well. As we continue here, a major bust in Peachtree City of a man who had child pornography allegedly on his mobile device that was AI generated. And you're thinking, is that the same kind of thing as real images? Wait till you hear what authorities have to say about that as we continue here. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for streaming with us this afternoon on this Thanksgiving week. I'm Tom Haines with you at 3 p.m., as I always am, on the Fox Local streaming channel, whether you're watching at home on television or on your mobile device, on our YouTube channel, TikTok, or on the radio 107.9 HD2 FM. We are certainly glad you are with us today, as a lot is happening. Let's turn our attention now to Peachtree City, where a 49-year-old man is under arrest facing some very serious charges this afternoon. Police say that he had AI-generated images of child pornography on his mobile device. This is different from the real images that we so often hear about. So are the two the same? In other words, could this man face the same kind of charges if they were these real images? Let's get out to Doug Evans, who is down there this afternoon with us. Doug, kind of a bizarre case here, but Peachtree City Police pursuing this just as they would if these were real images.
Well, they are real images, Tom, under the law in Georgia. And I'm hearing myself in my ear. I don't know if our audio person can correct that for me. Won't have much of a discussion otherwise. Listen, under the law in Georgia, it doesn't matter. The law is pretty specific. And let me tell you what this guy was doing. So it's a little different than what we've described here. And that is, he was taking real photographs of a girl that he knew since the age of 12. And over a period of time, from the age of 12 to the age of 19, he was taking these real photographs, and then he was running it through AI software, and he was creating pornography with them, sexually explicit photographs. And so some of those photographs, especially when she was underage, were absolutely illegal. Let's show you some video of who we're talking about. His name is Justin Malloy, 42 years old. He's from Peachtree City. We have body cam video for you this afternoon. This from Peachtree City Police. And this is back in October when they were searching his home. They served a search warrant on his home, seized all of his electronic devices when these pictures came to light on his cellular phone. He has been charged with 49 counts of child sexual exploitation for the photographs that they say they found on his phone. Again, AI altered, so he took real photographs, altered them in a way to make it look sexually explicit. I talked to one of the lead investigators in this case, Lieutenant Brad Milstein. Let's hear from him now.
During the investigation, there was at least 49 specific photos that were altered using AI software into nude photographs of the same child.
We've been talking about this here. It doesn't matter whether it's AI generated.
It absolutely does not matter if you take a photo and you use AI to alter that photo into an explicit photo. It is absolutely child pornography. AI generated pornography is still pornography. There are still victims involved, especially when you alter images of somebody and turn it into pornography, and that doesn't excuse you from the law.
And it could be child or adult.
Absolutely, child pornography especially. However, just because the person is over 18 does not necessarily make it not illegal. Again, it was a long investigation, combing through thousands of pictures, but finding 49 specific pictures of this specific child as she aged from the age of 12 on up.
All right, so in the world that we live in, with AI becoming so much a part of everything that we do, here's what police are saying about this issue. One is, so this guy is accused of taking real photographs and using AI software to make them sexually explicit. They say that is covered under the law, especially when it comes to child pornography. The other thing that they say is you could get totally AI-generated photographs. Let's say that the child is not real, but an AI depiction of a child in sexually explicit situations. They say that's illegal too. it doesn't matter that it's a fictional child. It's still illegal, is what they're telling me here in Peachtree City. And then you have the second point that Lieutenant Milstein brought up in the last part of that interview. And it doesn't matter whether it's a child, he says. Even if you take an adult in some situations and create pornography with this, you might still be charged with some aspect of creating pornography on that. So a lot's changing with this technology. It should be of no surprise to anyone that people are using the technology already for illegal purposes, right?
Yeah, just when you think you've heard it all, this twisted and perverted way that somebody allegedly uses images over time of somebody who's a minor child and then comports that into carrying out some kind of sexual act using AI. I mean, they're using the tools of technology, and it's a really important distinction which you outlined, Doug. The fact that that this kind of technology is out there, people are using it, and it is certifiably illegal, not only with children, but then taking somebody who was never in a sexual type of situation, who's an adult, and putting them in that situation using AI, you're going to get in big trouble as well.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. And one of the things that they're really worried about is what is titled revenge porn, where someone gets in an argument with someone else, decides they don't like them anymore, so they take a photograph, they create a pornographic image with AI of this person that they've fallen out with, and then they publish that. And that's one of the areas that they're just super concerned about with all of this artificial intelligence. Yes, there's a lot of good that it's being used for, no doubt. I think that a lot of industries are worried about jobs and that sort of thing. Down here in Fayette County, with so much of the movie industry located here, they're certainly worried about AI and jobs in the movie industry. And then you've got this this ugly turn that we've discovered today of this case. 49 counts.
49, yeah.
I mean, they really hammered him.
Good. Yeah. And it's a groundbreaking case, something that we're paying attention to. Doug Evans live for us this afternoon in Peachtree City. Doug, thanks. When we come back, going to check in on the busy holiday travel season once again. We are live out and about this afternoon as we knock on the door of Thanksgiving, and some severe weather poises itself to move into our area once again this evening. Don't go away. We're covering it all for you this afternoon on the 3 p.m. streaming hour of Fox Local. Welcome back to the 3 p.m. streaming hour here on Fox Local. I'm Tom Haynes. Want to take you live to Hartsfield-Jackson International. The runways are wet. Some rain has been moving through all afternoon long, especially after that band of severe storms which moved through right during the morning rush hour this morning. 625 flights, we understand, were canceled at Hartsfield-Jackson this morning after a ground stop there. They had to wind up canceling upwards of 10 flights this morning, and we're expecting yet another round of wicked weather to pass through this evening around the 9 o'clock hour. So if you have family or friends arriving or departing from the airport tonight, you may want to pay extra attention to what's happening there, as we're expecting another line of severe weather. Just what we needed in advance of the Thanksgiving holiday, which is just a couple of days off. It is the busiest travel day of the year. The FAA expecting more than 52,000 flights to take off nationwide. Let's get out to Kaylee Schuyler, who joins us now live from Boston's Logan International Airport. Kaylee, how's it been looking there? How are the crowds? How's the weather? What's happening up in Boston this afternoon?
Hey, Tom. Well, here inside the airport, things have certainly started to pick up here within the last hour. I got to the airport late morning, and you could almost hear a pin drop. I was shocked. For being 2 days out from Thanksgiving, we're now in the middle of the afternoon. I think things are looking pretty good. You can see lines are short to check your bag. Lines are short at security. So I think we're smooth sailing so far here in Boston. But across the country, nationwide, right now there are more than 2,700 delays and just over 70 cancellations according to FlightAware, and TSA is expecting to screen more than 18 million people starting today through next Tuesday. But talking to travelers, they say so far it hasn't been too bad.
We've already got like a 10-minute delay, which, all things being equal, that's fine with me.
It was actually very, very smooth. Good. We went through security in like 5 minutes, and everything was on time.
The FAA predicts this week could be the busiest Thanksgiving travel period in 15 years, with more than 360,000 flights scheduled to take off through December 2nd. And just today, it's expected to peak at more than 52,000 flights. Now, Tom, you were just talking about the weather. Here in Boston so far, it hasn't been too bad. We are expecting a little bit of rain today and tomorrow, but severe weather across the country could shake things up a bit. And it already did this morning. You mentioned in Atlanta after a thunderstorm hit the area, but thick fog, flooding rain, high winds, and even a blizzard in the Great Lakes region are all in the forecast across the country this week. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says flyers shouldn't anticipate extreme delays due to air traffic control staffing issues. He says towers are still understaffed, but back to pre-government shutdown levels.
If you can still get a ticket and you can still fly and your family still wants to see you, book that ticket. Jump on a flight, and don't be afraid to fly this season. Again, I can't control the weather. I can't control the mechanics of an airplane, but things look good from the air traffic control side. We are back to staffing levels that we had before the shutdown, I believe.
As for post-Thanksgiving celebrations, TSA is expecting Sunday to be one of the busiest travel days in history. Tom?
And Kaylee, it's something that's on a lot of people's mind. What happens in Atlanta usually finds its way across airports around the country, and so we're expecting those storms to roll in again tonight. Wondering about Boston Logan Airport and the flashpoint potentially up there. Historically, the Northeast Corridor is a busy one, and I guess Boston is no exception especially in these next few days.
Yeah, it's definitely something people are aware of when I've been talking to travelers. I also asked several people today, are you nervous to travel after we've seen flight reductions during the government shutdown? It's going to be busy. Mm-hmm. Duffy said that, things aren't back to extreme levels, so a lot of people are nervous about how their flights are going to go. A lot of people said they've looked and seen if they can get their flight moved to earlier in the morning just to try to avoid as much congestion as possible. But it is a very real possibility that we're going to get some flooding rain here. Things going to get backed up, and hopefully people won't miss their Thanksgiving celebrations, but it could be a possibility if the weather is really that bad.
Yeah, from what I can see behind you, it's the calm before the proverbial storm. Kaylee Schuyler with us live at Boston's Logan International Airport. Kaylee, thanks. Well, we're not only talking about Thanksgiving, we're talking about shopping, we're talking about Black Friday deals coming up, and then that's going to push into the weekend. So local authorities want you to pay close attention to shopping locally. and patronizing local businesses in our community because we are their survival. This Saturday, Small Business Saturday, a reminder to get out there and support small businesses in our community. And Kevin Stewart is on top of this story for us. Kevin, looks beautiful behind you there. Hopefully these businesses are going to get the kind of traffic they need to bring them through the holiday season.
Yeah, they're certainly hoping for, we're at the Collective, which is over in the Old Fourth Ward, not too far from Krog Street. It's really interesting. We're digging into this, and we're talking to Invest Atlanta. They're the economic development arm of the city, and I'm told there are almost 200,000 people employed at small businesses in the city, including several people who work here at the Collective. They sell all kinds of things here, and if you look over here, if you walk over towards the window, Stephen, you can get a shot of this. Shop small. They know that they rely on people to come out here, and they're encouraging folks. I want to show you some video. We were digging into this, and I found out that according to the National Retail Federation, spending this season is projected to go up about 4%. But at the same time, they're still concerned about how much people will be spending. Consumer confidence, that number just came out today, is down, the lowest point since April. Now, small businesses already are being hurt by online shopping and can't always offer the big sales like the big stores. So Invest Atlanta is campaigning to get shoppers to shop with local bids, especially legacy small businesses.
There are over 17,600 businesses in the city of Atlanta. 98% are considered small, meaning they're less than 250 employees. But together, they represent over 199,000 businesses and $5 billion in revenue. So it's very important for us to be shopping at our local small businesses.
Yeah, that was $5 billion worth of business for all the small businesses just in the city limits of Atlanta. So it's a fascinating number digging into this story. Learned a lot here. One of the things that I mentioned was that they want to focus on legacy businesses. They want you to shop at all small businesses, but particularly legacy businesses. Back in the springtime, Invest Atlanta set up a program where they want to try to protect a lot of these businesses, because as the city changes, more bigger businesses come into play, and so they want to make sure that these long-time businesses stay afloat. We're talking about businesses that have been around for a minimum of 30 years. If you go to the Invest Atlanta website, they have a list of those there. Tom?
You know, Kevin, it's so easy for consumers to jump online or to go to some of the big box retailers. I'm wondering if these small businesses plan to participate in any way in these big sales that we often see, like the Black Friday sales, and in other words, incentives to get our local community into some of these shops.
There are some that will, but it's interesting. That was one of the things I talked to about here with the Collective.
Mm-hmm.
They have their items here, but they also are largely a lot of small artisan type of small business people who sell their wares here. And he says these type of businesses don't really have the ability to offer a bunch of sales. So what they focus on is high quality artisan local products, and hoping to get people to be mindful to shop small with that in mind. But they don't have business margins or tight, no matter what type of business you're in, but having small businesses offering 50% off, he says that's just not going to happen, and certainly with not these type of items in this type of shop.
Well, those are volume type discounts, and as you said, you're not going to find some of the creative sort of artisan type items that you might find in one of those local shops there at a big box retailer like Target or Home Goods or something like that. There's something special to be able to give somebody a gift and say, hey, I got it at a little boutique or a little shop near my home and my local community. So good for them for participating and trying to get people through their doors. Kevin Stewart, live for us. Kevin, thanks. Joining us now, Andrea Worthy, who has a lot to say about this very topic from the City of Smyrna Economic Development. You are the director there, Andrea. You've been at this for a long time, I understand, some 3 decades. So tell us how Smyrna is sort of calibrating itself to step up for this Small Business Saturday that we're hearing about.
Yeah, so we're just, doing some different things along with the Small Business Saturday and trying to promote Smyrna businesses specifically. So working with the Smyrna Business Association, we have launched the Shop Smyrna Saturday, which falls on the same day as the Shop Business Saturday. And we have some promotions like if you shop at one of our participating businesses, you can scan a QR code at the business, and then you could be entered to win a couple of prizes we have. We have some gift cards that we're giving away for our restaurants, our retailers, and our service companies.
Yeah, how hard is it to get that kind of word out, though? So if I live in Smyrna, how do I find out about Small Business Saturday in Smyrna and get these kind of coupons and dial into exactly what you guys are doing?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you. You're helping us by getting the word out a little bit. But also, we've been putting it out on the city social media and the Smyrna Business Association media. And this is the third year we've done this. So I think there's a little bit of continuity now that it's an event that your family's in town for the holidays. You want to show off your town. And so folks are taking their friends and family out to shop local in Smyrna.
So sometimes we get caught up in the idea of, oh my gosh, I have to go out, I have to shop, I have to get this, this, and this. But when you're in a local community like Smyrna, or where our Kevin Stewart was this afternoon, it can be more of an experience, if you will. Oh, yeah. So many of these small towns and communities offer more than just retail shops. I mean, you can do a little shopping, maybe go to lunch, maybe go to a small pavilion in that area. So has Smyrna kind of offered those kinds of other activities for its shoppers?
Yes, absolutely. So it's interesting that you say that, because in the age of online shopping, that is the one thing that local retailers have really had to focus on is the experience when shopping, because it's something that differentiates them from the big retailers. You're able to go in, you're able to meet the folks who have been operating a 75-year-old hardware store in Smyrna. You're able to go in and meet the new folks who just opened a new dog treat store here in Smyrna. So it's the experience and the fun things they get to do. And if you're shopping specifically in downtown Smyrna, we just completed in the past couple of years our big new Village Green Space. So we have a lot of families and folks coming to enjoy the day, doing a little shopping, eating at one of our local restaurants, and then parking themselves on the green just to people watch.
It is remarkable to me how small businesses and local communities have adapted really over the past 10 to 20 years with the advent of the internet and Amazon and outlets and portals through which people can go to, even these sites that offer you products directly from China, like Temu and other sites. How local businesses and communities like yours manage to stay relevant. It's not easy, but it's something that a lot of them have been successful in doing. So what's the secret sauce?
Well, I think it's exactly what we talked about earlier. It is getting to know your local folks. And, I would remind your viewers that, the folks that are locally in your community and that you're shopping, you're helping to support a lot of other organizations. These are the folks that give money to the Little Leagues. These are the folks that give money to the local nonprofits. So your dollar really goes a longer way, shopping local. And plus, it's a lot of fun just to get to know your neighbors a little better.
Yeah, and it's supporting the tax base as well. We like local businesses who rent retail spaces in our communities. Nobody wants to drive down a local main street, for example, and see empty storefronts. We want to see these businesses thriving. We want to see them occupying retail space. We want them paying into the local tax base in our community. And we want people to come into our community and patronize those businesses.
That's right. And so that's another secret is when you're shopping local and you're supporting those existing local businesses, you are sending messages out to the real estate marketplace that someone else who might be thinking about opening a new unique boutique in your community, that this is a safe place to do that, a place where, the local community supports their local businesses. That's very important. I know every resident in every town out there wants to have something unique in their community. And the best way to do that is support the things that are out there already. That really helps to send the message that you're a community that supports local business.
All right, well said. Andrea Worthy, the Smyrna Economic Development Director. Big event coming up here on Saturday with Small Business Saturday in Smyrna. What are you guys calling it out there?
We call it Shop Smyrna Saturday.
All right, Shop Smyrna Saturday. Andrea, thanks so much for joining us. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
All right, as we continue here, speaking of shopping, what are some of the hottest toys for kids these days? We're going to be live with a rundown of what you need to be looking for when we come back. Welcome back to the 3 p.m. streaming hour here on Fox Local. Certainly glad you're with us as we embark on the Thanksgiving holiday travel season. Want to take you live outside for a look through a Department of Transportation camera at the Grady Curve. Certainly you've been on it. And traffic is moving pretty good there this afternoon. Northbound a little sluggish, southbound pretty decent. We heard from the Atlanta Department of Transportation today that it's going to back off on things like lane and road closures, sidewalk closures to provide the public with a little more access to roads in the city of Atlanta during the busy travel days here coming up. So they're going to stop construction and things like that. This moratorium, as they're calling it, is going to be in effect from 5 a.m. Wednesday. So that's tomorrow morning through 9 a.m. Monday, so all long weekend, all right? So over Thanksgiving, the holidays, you're not going to have to worry about roads being closed for construction or sidewalks being blocked off because they want to keep things moving as smoothly as they can. Given the wet roadways today, that might come in as a big help tomorrow morning as the morning rush hour gets underway. So, of course, we'll continue to stay on top of the traffic situation all weekend long for you here as we knock on the door of Thanksgiving. All right, speaking of Thanksgiving and all things holiday season, we are on the hunt for toys for our little ones. But what are some of the best of the best? Chris Rosenthal is out and about looking for answers to that very question. Chris?
Hey, Tom. Yeah, I'm at Camp Atlanta here in Dunwoody. Not a bad place to hang out all day at a toy store. And we're going to show you some toys that are really popular. And I'm here with Doug Post. And Doug, Douglas, show me some of these toys that have been really popular this year for 2025.
So we always have the active toys like our micro scooter and our pony cycle. Kids love to come in, ride around on our ponies and zebras. Paw Patrol being the experience we have. Kids always love the merchandise for Paw Patrol. Our Rail Cube, which is a STEM engineering-driven monorail system. Kids get to build the track.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool there. And then what are some of these things we have over here?
Yeah, so this is our Fat Brain Toys. It's a company that has some great toys for our younger age. We have our Spin Again, which is like a traditional stacking toy, but adds that fun, colorful spin to it, and Pretendables.
And then this right here has been sort of a really big hit. I've seen a lot of kids come out and play this today, and I've been playing it myself.
Yes, this is our board. This is a tabletop gaming console where you have game pieces that come to life and are the tools you use in each game.
Awesome.
It's super fun.
Definitely. Well, a lot of great toys. These are some of the hits.
The baby.
Year, and some of the
people are asking about it.
Under the trees.
Yes.
All right, looks kind of cool. Some of these toys are definitely alternatives to what we see online. Great idea to get out. These are STEM favorite toys, we understand, nostalgic classics. Just so many things to choose from, and I love the name Fat Brain, by the way. That's a great name. You know, if you want your kids to have big brains, you buy one of these toys for them to mess around with.
Absolutely.
So some great alternatives out there. Yeah. Chris Rosenthal, thanks. I want to bring you a quick update before we leave you this afternoon. That Amber Alert that we've been following. Authorities still have not found that child and the alleged father that child is with. But take a look at your screen here. This is who they're looking for. They're allegedly in a 2017 silver Volkswagen Passat sedan. So pay close attention to the license plate number DCA 8894. Looks exactly like that. Flock cameras spread out looking for this vehicle and that father and his infant child. So we're going to continue to follow that story, bring you information as soon as it happens. Want to thank you so much for joining us here on the 3 p.m. streaming hour of Fox Local. I'm Tom Haines, live in the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom. The news is going to continue right here, right now.